Hi, and welcome everyone to our 52nd episode of The Little Inside. As you might have guessed, my name is still Tobi, and this week we are going to talk a little bit how to receive oneself and others with kindness. So let's get started right after the intro. Kindness is an uplifting force on the path. It translates into an energy that lifts us up. So we call that energy traditionally in Buddhism, we call it merit. But basically, essentially is a force, a power of happiness and joy that carries us upwards on the path. It's an energy that derives from practicing kindness, being compassionate, helping others, practicing patience, cultivating energy directly, giving, and so forth. So there are all these kind of practices that actually help us enhance the fuel, or you can actually call it like a fuel. It fuels the spiritual path, this energy of merit. And here today I'm going to talk a little bit about how kindness actually generates that energy and how we can learn how to receive ourselves and other people with kindness. Most beings on this planet, they have a certain type of mindset. So we see the world and ourselves through the lens of this mindset mostly. So we also treat ourselves and other people coming from a certain mindset. And there are mindsets that are very predominant. Some people, they have this kind of angry personalities. Other people have very kind personalities. Some people are kind of a jealous type. Other people are sort of hyperactive. Some are very peaceful, withdrawn introverts. So there are these character types or mindsets that we all have. And we tend to see the world through these mindsets. We're looking at other people and ourselves through these mindsets. And then we usually confuse the way other people appear to us with the way they actually are. And so ego actually sees other people in terms of three categories. So you have your friends, you have those people that you don't know, and you have those people that you dislike, your enemies. Let's call them enemies, okay? So we have friends, people that we don't know, and our enemies. That's from the perspective of ego. Now, if you look carefully at yourself, then you will find exactly the same thing. We will have friends, things about ourselves that we really like and appreciate. We have things about ourselves that leave us in a neutral kind of state that we don't really know, that we don't engage with. And then we have those things about ourselves that we dislike. So the way we actually see ourselves and relate to the various aspects within our own mindsets is the same way that we relate to the world around ourselves. We would call someone a friend, for example, if they benefit us in some way. It's almost like you say that you like chocolate because you enjoy its taste, you enjoy its flavor. You like the company of a certain person because you enjoy their being, you're enjoying their personality. So there is a give and take here going on. I call you friends, I give you the title friends because I receive some benefit from you. And when that benefit stops, or when there is more harm that I receive from you, then you slowly turn into what I call an enemy. I don't like you anymore, I don't want to hang out with you, I don't want to spend time with you. It's a friend can turn into an enemy, for example. If you have a fight with your friend, an argument with your friend, then that friend turns into your enemy for a certain time. And then usually we say sorry and then come back to the friendship. Then there is a certain mutual benefit again. So it's and then there are those people that we don't know as well, of course, in our life. You have all these people that walk around on the street that you just see when you're passing by in your car, and you don't really know them, you don't relate to them in any way, meaning that ego doesn't perceive any benefit coming from them. It doesn't receive any threat coming from them, so it kind of sees them as a neutral person that's just out there, and so it doesn't think about them a lot. But once you're encountering a friend, then the thoughts are predominantly kind and nice. And then if you're encountering an enemy, then the thoughts that are predominantly not nice and angry. And we fail to very often see that an enemy is not an enemy by its own virtue, but an enemy turns into an enemy because our mind turns that person into an enemy. Our mind makes it look like as if the person out there was really unpleasant. But actually they're not. They're not really unpleasant people. Their friends would say, no, that person over there is not unpleasant. I really like him. Whereas you really don't like that person. So it's very much perspective that creates enemies or friends or people that we don't know and care about. So if we practice or if we cultivate the power of kindness, you always want to start with yourself. And you want to start with your own friendly aspects, the own things that you appreciate about yourself. So I recommend you to sit down and write a little list of those things that you really do appreciate about yourself. That might be a little bit tough because usually our thinking is wired in a way of trying to improve, to get better. And so we don't really see the things that are already good because we're constantly aiming for something better. We feel not good enough, essentially. And so we try to get better. We try to accumulate more virtue, more possessions, more relationships, whatever it is that we try to accumulate. There's always the sense of, well, that what I am and what I have is essentially not good enough, really. So it might be a challenge at first to kind of actually find the good things about yourself. But it's well worth the effort of actually sitting down and contemplating. So what is it that I can genuinely appreciate about myself? And you will see also this uplifts your mood. And the more you start to do that, the more you're actually looking for things that you can appreciate about yourself, things that you do well, things that are inspiring, things that make you and other people around you happy. The more you can see them and appreciate them, the happier you will become. And the more you will be able to see those good things within other people too. And you can appreciate them there too. Then we move on to the second level, which is appreciating those things about yourself that are that leave you in a neutral state. You're neither liking them nor are you disliking them. Try to generate a soft, friendly, warm feeling towards your everyday activities, let's say walking or breathing, being friendly and kind to your breath, receiving your breath with appreciation, actually discovering how nice it is to breathe, discovering how nice it is to walk, seeing the goodness within our normal everyday activities would be the practice of receiving your neutral parts or neutral qualities with kindness. And last but not least, the most difficult one is learning to appreciate and accept and forgive, even you can say, your negative qualities. Those things that you don't like about yourself. Can you receive them with kindness, with appreciation? Can you receive your mistakes, your errors, the things you messed up in your past? Can you receive them with acceptance? I'm not even going for a soft, warm, fuzzy feeling, but just to go for a sense of acceptance, just feeling that, yes, this is what I did. This is what I predominantly feel like. Maybe there are some feelings that you don't like about yourself, but yes, there it is. This is there. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, and it's part of my beingness. It's part of me being a human being on this planet. I do have human emotions. They're all coming from a very turbulent past. We're all struggling. We all try to live a life that is enjoyable. We all try to create happiness for ourselves. And absolutely nobody wants to suffer, but we're very unskilled with that. So we do suffer a lot. We do experience a lot of stress and only a little bit of happiness. So it's very important to see that. The way I do this for myself is I just try to see myself as this small, tiny, little human being that lives on planet Earth amongst many other tiny little human beings, and we all do the same. Literally, all of us, we try to be happy. We try to be more comfortable, more at ease, more loved, more accepted and understood. And at the same time, we try to get out of misery, out of suffering. We don't want to suffer. We don't want to be unpleasant. We don't want to be uncomfortable. And so, first of all, I see this. I recognize this within myself. Man, I don't want to suffer. Here I sit, and I don't want to feel stress, and I want to be just happy. I'm just a human being that wants to be happy. To see myself in these very simple terms, it kind of opens myself up to my struggle. Oh, here I sit and I struggle and I'm sad and all I want is to be happy. Or here I am angry that someone cut me off on the street and I'm feeling really angry about it. Now this is real honesty. That requires honesty to notice like, wow, here I'm really uncomfortable. This is where I'm uncomfortable. And I accept my discomfort. I'm okay with being uncomfortable. It's part of being a human being, isn't it? As I said before, when you start to know, to see, and to accept, and to allow all of your facets to be there without following them or expressing them necessarily. If it's a negative side, let's say, if you're sensing anger within your being, then you don't have to express it, but just to see it, acknowledge it, and accept it. This is there right now, here. Then you will learn gradually to accept these things within other human beings, and you can see the connection. Hey, we're all getting angry from time to time, and it's normal. This is what's happening to myself, and that's happening also to other people. See, this understanding immediately gives rise to forgiveness. You're now in the position that you can allow other human beings to be who they are, and that's really fantastic. So kindness is really based on acceptance. Once you can accept your three sides, the good ones, the neutral ones, and the negative ones, then you will start to naturally, that will translate into being able to accept and forgive the good sides in others, to appreciate them, to allow them to be a human being with human emotions. And that's the first step to it. This understanding is what we really need in this world, actually. It's people being able to understand each other, to understand the fact that we all suffer and we all don't want to suffer, and we're all trying to be happy. Now this is the key that really unlocks your heart, unlocks the understanding for yourself and other people. Once you have understanding, you can forgive. Once you can forgive, then you can act skillfully for the benefit of yourself and all others. Now this completes the 52nd episode, and I hope it was useful as usual. Please just write me if you do have any questions, or just let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to see all of you again next week. See you then. Bye bye.